Hello, I'm Sharon Scott Wilson with Resort Trades, and you're in for a treat because today we have Cheryl Cattell. And if you're hoping to tap into LinkedIn for the first time, or maybe you're an old hand at it, today's speaker, Cheryl, will open up new possibilities on how to use LinkedIn for building business without spending a dime. So, Cheryl, you're such a remarkable person, and I'm just going to let you open up and tell about yourself because there's so much to tell. So, by way of introduction.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm always, it's always a pleasure to join you, Sharon and Carrie. It's always wonderful. I love my relationship with Resort Trades. It's been going on since 2004 when I started work at Blue Green Resort. So I've always been a subscriber. So it's nice to be here and speaking. And so I've got over 30 years of digital marketing experience. And right now I am working for an agency, and that's here in Fort Lauderdale. And on the side, my passion is I love to help people with their LinkedIn profiles because it's just so much fun. It's like creating a vision of the future by telling everybody out there what it is you want to be when you grow up. So, and it also leads to life coaching, which is the other passion I have. So there you go. We'll get a little bit more into that when we get into the deck if you want to get started. All right, here we go. For those of you who were here in January, it's been that long. I can't believe it. We did a LinkedIn session where we talked a lot about profiles. So I'm going to skip through, but I left the content here. So for those of you who come back and want to review and see the presentation again, it's here. So, but I'm going to go quickly through it so we can touch on some new stuff. All right, let's dive in. All right. And this is just a little bit about me. I've had titles as such as Senior Director, Vice President, CMO for a lot of great companies. As I mentioned, Blue Green Resorts, Bank of America, Travelocity, Mary Kay. I have founded two different interactive marketing associations, one here in South Florida and also one in Dallas, Fort Worth. I have been an adjunct instructor at the University of San Francisco, UVA McIntire School of Business. Right now, I'm currently a regular guest speaker at the FAU, Florida Atlantic University here in South Florida. I also had the privilege of working overseas for 4 years in Belgium, so je parle français comme une vache espagnole. And as I mentioned, I work right now for Starmark International. Next. There you go. That's all you need to know about me. Now let's get into the stuff that matters. Well, this is the outline. I'm going to try to speed through the opportunity, why LinkedIn matters, what's your score. I'll talk about having a connection strategy, how ways you can grow your connections. New to this is content strategy. How do you come up with what are you going to say and what are you going to talk about? So we'll talk about that today, and I'll try to spend more time there. I'll hit again on LinkedIn post algorithms. So once you spend all the time and create this wonderful content, how do you make sure somebody besides you and your mom read it, right? I'm not going to spend as much time on LinkedIn events because I added some bonus material this time. These are just things that have been coming up on LinkedIn. It's like every time I log in, something new is happening. Recommended frequency, I would say at least once a week. You want to have a relationship. And we'll talk about that next when we talk about what is LinkedIn next. All right, so the case for LinkedIn, there's a whole bunch of people, 700 million users, 200 countries. This is why you want to have a regular presence, more than once in a blue moon. LinkedIn is the largest social networking platform for business professionals. It has also 46 million students or recent graduates, and even TikTok would be jealous of the 80 million millennials that are on this platform. So this is the reason or the case of why you want to be there. But I really have to stress the fact that it is a social networking platform more than anything. And so having relationships and engaging with others is the critical thing about this platform. So, all right, let's go. Oh, it looks like I can advance too. Huh. Okay, so the opportunity. Only 3 million people share content every week, which is less than 1% of all the people on LinkedIn. What does that mean for you? That means if you take the time and you are publishing and sharing content, you have an opportunity to be seen and to be noticed. You stand out in the crowd. Also, something to know is that about half of all traffic going to a business-to-business website comes from social media. So that's pretty amazing. And when you compare it to Twitter and Facebook and then all the others combined, definitely, definitely a big driver of traffic. Now, if you post, you can count on 7%, 5 to 7% of your contacts receiving your post. That is, if you don't put their name in it and use the @ sign, that's about average. So, as I said before, you want to be consistent, and that's how you get results. This is an interesting fact. 2 people join LinkedIn every second. So that's amazing. And then hence the name of the talk today, the fact that you don't have to spend a dime. 94% of all the LinkedIn users or members are using a free version. And so my recommendation to you is if you're not leveraging all of the free tools, the things we talk about today, don't bother upgrading to premium. Don't upgrade to premium no matter what, but don't worry about spending the $80 a month for Sales Navigator. You really want to get the most out of the platform for free before you start investing. So the other thing you need to be aware of is almost 60% view LinkedIn on their mobile app. And so you want to be aware of that as we look at some of the other things that we go. So this is not your grandmother's LinkedIn or your mother's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really changed dramatically. It used to be the place to go when you needed a job. And now it's really about establishing yourself in your industry and attending a giant, ongoing, never-ending networking event. So what we're going to talk about is first impressions do matter, and you want to make sure that you're giving the best first impression that you can. To do that, you want to get your profile house in order, and you want to establish yourself as a trusted partner. Also, the content that you will share will demonstrate your expertise and knowledge. And also, it'll help you gain confidence and clarity for what you do and how you offer it to others. So showing thought leadership is an important part of what you do on LinkedIn. All right. So this is another interactive section. We have a link. If you're on your mobile phone, you can type it in. I turned it into a bit.ly. This is a very shortened version. Let's explain, let's demystify these numbers, because when I got my number, it wasn't 75 to begin with. I was extremely disappointed. I mean, heck, I can do better than that. What's a B minus? I don't know. Seemed low. The things that will help put it in context is the one at the top. This is the total industry. So these are people in digital marketing industry. And for that industry, I'm in the top 1%. So that's not bad. Okay, now you're talking. So I'm back up in the A range here. And the same thing here. These people that I'm in the network with, these are all my connections. So the people that I am connected to have, oh, hi, Sierra. They put me in the top 3%. In other words, the people I'm connected to are actually higher ranking than the people who are in my industry of advertising and marketing. So, oh, good job, Serena. That's a good score for you. So that's really what you want to do. Now, what I'd recommend you do is take a note of this social selling skill index and come back to it, revisit it in 30, 60, 90 days, and let's see if you've made any improvements by implementing the things I've recommended here. All right, so the first thing, and if you want to follow along, this is the bit.ly link to my LinkedIn profile. So I've just converted it to a bit.ly, so it's bit.ly/Cattell, and you can follow along. So first thing, I'm going to go through this really quickly because we covered this in detail in our last session, but I do know we've got some newbies here. So I'm going to encourage you to spend the money to get a professional headshot. I'm also recommend I add this thing called Lion, Lion, which is not like Lion. It's a LinkedIn open networker. And that just tells people if you reach out to me, if you have a headshot and you have a couple of connections, I'll probably connect with you. It's once upon a time, LinkedIn used to shut people's accounts down if they invited too many people who didn't know them. And so this was a way to tell people it's okay, you can connect with me. Now we have this couple, we're going to break and we're going to go look at a couple of videos. We're going to look, not right yet, but we're going to look at the name pronunciation. We'll do that in a minute. But there's a little, if you're on my profile, you can click it and you can hear me pronounce my name so that no one will say Cheryl Cattle. Hopefully that's been to LinkedIn and knows about this name pronunciation. So you can have like, if your name is John Doe or Jane Smith, you can also use this as a 10-second elevator speech. 10 seconds, not very long, but anyway. We're also going to look at how you can make this, if you went to LinkedIn, you saw I had a video here. And we're going to show you how to do that, how to add a video message. These two things can only be done on the mobile app. All right. And remember I told you that LinkedIn is 60% mobile? Make sure once you get your profile looking pretty that you go in and make it also pretty on the mobile app. So make sure you're checking it on both desktop and mobile. Another thing I'm going to recommend you do is take the numbers. If your URL to your profile has a bunch of numbers after your name, you need to remove those by editing the URL on your profile page. It's at the very top right. So that's another thing you want to do. Now, this section right here, this is called a headline, and it will default to your current position and the name of your company. And you lose 220 characters of opportunity to insert keywords and tell people what it is you love to do. So, another thing that just happened recently is now I am in creator mode. And what that is that when somebody comes to my profile, the default is to follow me. And as a result, I have about 4,600 followers, right? And you see these little hashtags? These hashtags indicate the things that I'm following and the things I talk about. So this is not available to you unless you turn on creator mode. So those are a couple of things, a couple of tidbits here. All right. This, if with Carrie's help, we're going to listen to somebody who did a great job of using the name pronunciation. So go ahead, Carrie, take it away.
Chris Ream. Just think of it like Phoenix, Arizona.
Let's go ahead and play the other video, a part of it. You don't have to play the whole thing. This is the video of the video headshot. See that? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I just did that this weekend. So that's excellent. That's probably all you need. And you can also add a cover video. And so that's what this looks like.
Hi, thanks for stopping by. My name is Cheryl Cattell, and I am an author, a life coach.
Like I said, those two things are only available on the mobile app. So when you get to the mobile app, what you do is you click your headshot, the little circle in the top left, and then you go to your view profile page. And there will be places, if you click on the picture itself, just click right on the picture on the mobile app, it'll ask you if you want to add a video cover story. And so that's how you do it. It's pretty cool. Oh, LinkedIn, always changing and growing. I love it. All right, a couple of things. I just want to make sure nobody on the call today has this background. This is default background, and this is like having a big, huge billboard on I-95 that is blank. So please, don't want to waste this precious real estate. Also, be careful of the pictures you're using. You don't want to use drinking or parties, unless you're a party planner, maybe, that might be appropriate. And then, Carrie, I'll ask if you could put the remove.bg in the text or in the chat. And this is all these will be available afterwards as well. But this light right behind Brian's head here is a bit distracting. Remove.bg, you upload your photo, it'll remove anything in the background, including cocktails or God knows what. Anyway, so that's just a little tip, a tool, free tool. All these are free. Everything's free. All right, so banner options. We're going to fly through a couple of them. Canva.com is my go-to. It is free. You can create, you can select a blank one, or they have hundreds of templates that you can choose from. Very, very cool little tool, easy to use. Download it and then upload it into your background. This is called the banner, LinkedIn banner. So you want to go to Canva and type in LinkedIn banner to get the template, and it'll be the perfect size. That's exactly what you want. I'm showing this. We were hiring for a digital media manager, and so when you take and put company branding, so Starmark, the company I work for, and then you have my headshot with hiring, and then a link to the job description. What that does is it's more likely to generate qualified job applicants who would be willing to reach out to me, who know me and know that they can ask me questions about the company, the culture, etc. So this is like getting a referral, and it's a very, very powerful way to use LinkedIn. I mean, I think we all know about LinkedIn as a job hunting mechanism. This is a great one for hiring. So. This is Peggy Nordine. She's the CEO and owner of Starmark. And I showed this one because it's a great way to show personalized branded sites. So at Starmark, we've been doing a lot in virtual reality for some of our education clients. And we use these for our meetings, especially during COVID. And so this is really communicating thought leadership and our focus on virtual reality as a communication method. So what we do is we offer the ability for any employee to take a photo, and we will put it into this background. And it's a pretty cool way of branding, talking about thought leadership, and having something personalized that the person can use. So let's go through some other uses, different cases. Susie is just what I call her, but her real name is Suzanne Lentz, and she used to have her LinkedIn profile that said Suzanne Lentz, and she said nobody can find me. These people, they don't know how to spell my name. They don't know if it's an S or a Z or a Z. Actually, she's from Switzerland. So what's interesting is we were able to put her different spellings in the location where you put your maiden name. And that has made a world of difference for her. She always comes up, no matter how somebody spells their name. So that's very exciting for her. And this is a trick I recommend, and actually one I use too. So, all right, another option for the banner, you can promote your business, put your tagline, make it easy for people to contact you. So let me just take a moment and talk about personal profiles versus business profiles. I do not spend a lot of time on my business profile on LinkedIn. I personally have 4,600 followers. My business page does not. It's really there so that I can get the logo on my profile page, but you should be spending 90% of your time on your personal profile. So in this case, these 4 women are all part of DW Consulting. And so they are shown on each other's LinkedIn banner. And they also have their contact information here, making it extremely easy for somebody to get in touch with you. And if you're in business and you want to do business, there should be no hesitation on your part about putting your business phone number or your business email address. So highly recommended. All right. This one, I just want to make a little bit of caution. If you use some of the emoji makers, or if you bold things in your about section, or if you start bolding keywords, I just want to make you aware that sometimes that could get in the way of you showing up for keyword searches. So just want to use them sparingly, but she definitely stands out. If you do a search for career strategist, those emojis make her pop on the list. So visually, an excellent use, but just be careful putting them close to your keywords. So, all right. All right, about me. The About Me section is 2,600 characters. You want to use every single one of those characters. What I recommend, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the content, I recommend you come up with a list of 10 key words that you want to be able to rank for. So if somebody goes to LinkedIn and types in the word life coach, I would like to be sure that I'm showing up. So if you look at my new about us, about section, it will have those keywords in it. Now, if you go to your profile and you don't see about, that's because you haven't added it. You'll need to add it. And once you've added it, these are the things you want to talk. You want to say everything in first person. It's the only place that it really you're allowed to, go into first person. What are you good at? What do you love? What do you have a passion for? And then I also, especially if you're in a business, what industries do you serve? That goes right here. This is a good place to put that. And then I list things like core competencies, and with some of my international clients, we list languages. It's embarrassing to me that I don't have any languages to list when I work with them, and they're 7 or 8. But the great place for that to go right here on the About Us. As you can see, I show my core competencies and so on. So what you want to do, though, is this presentation is really more about sales. So make sure that you are optimizing it for sales, not a job hunt. So if it sounds like a resume, take it out. All right. And make sure you're using and mentioning the keywords you want to show up for. All right. Very good. So here you can see the way I add dividers is I just put them all in caps. And then I've listed here some companies that I worked at that are too long ago that I don't want to put on my LinkedIn page because it would go too long and make me look too old. But I did want to get the names of the companies and the positions listed here. So, and then I list technical skills, and then I also make it easy to contact me. So, and I said languages. So. All right, the next section, probably have to add this too if you haven't spent a lot of time on your profile. You'll need to add this. It's what I call the end cap. An end cap in a store is at the end of an aisle that everybody sees as they're walking by all of the aisles. And it's really a place where you want to feature something that you're very proud of. And so, of course, I am featuring one of the articles I wrote for the Resort Trades magazine, as well as I have a tip sheet. So hint, hint, everything we're talking about today is on this PDF as a little checklist that you can go down, and it's got the URLs, etc. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, there it will be. You can also put articles, as I did, announcements, videos. This is a link to a video replay, and I think the one in January, as a matter of fact. So this is a really good use, and if you're not using it, add it, and then you can see some of the things you could put. Connections. So everyone should at least have a minimum of 500 connections, but you have a maximum of 15,000. So be careful. You don't want to get too close. Actually, Chris Ream, the Phoenix, Arizona guy, he has almost 15,000, and he's afraid to go over because then he's going to have to start cutting people if he wants to add new ones. Such a problem to have. All right. So what you want to do is create a list of associations or groups where you might find relevant connections. And the way you can do that is go to somebody that you admire or somebody that you think is well connected and look at the groups that they belong to. Click on them and go and request to join. Easy. Same thing with a list of target companies. So let's say, for example, I'm working with a company in Chile, and they do compliance monitoring for companies that have operations in Latin America. So what she did is she said, these are my list of 20 companies that are American companies that have operations in Latin America. And so that is her target list. And she's reaching out, looking at employees there, and then looking at job titles. So this is a little known secret. Type anything into the search box, and you should see these filters pop up. Always click all filters, and then you can go down and actually start specifying where are they located, what's the company, what's past company that they're with, what are their job titles, and you can really, really hone in on a very targeted list of companies. Also categories, you can look for healthcare, marketing, etc. You can do keyword searches and see who is showing up, what groups are showing up, what companies. So for example, with the client in compliance that I was working with, we just went and typed in compliance, Latin America. And guess what? We found somebody that had LATAM. So we typed in LATAM compliance, and therein goes and grows the keyword list. So that's how you do it. Start with something you know, and then just keep digging deeper and deeper to find the right keywords, to find the right people. Because then you can start looking for that keyword, LATAM compliance, and do keyword searches for people that have that in their title. So this is really, check this out. This is going to change your life, this advanced search features. So once you've found people, if you're in person, there's this really cool thing. This, again, mobile only. On your search box, there's this little image that I had no idea what it was. Maybe a spaceship with legs, I don't know, or drone. When you click it, it will bring up a QR code, and you can either scan someone else's if you're in a networking event with them, or you can share yours, and you'll instantly be connected on LinkedIn. So saves all the connection request and the acceptance, etc. But if you're not in person and you are sending invitations virtually, you want to always, always, always personalize your note. I know it's not always, just be careful, because on your mobile device, if you click connect with somebody, it won't give you the opportunity to personalize it. So you always have to click the 3 dots on mobile, and then there's a connection request. That's what you choose, because then you can type in what your personal message is. And there's also something on Android and Apple phones that will let you do text replacement. And so I have a text replacement for capital L, capital I, that will say something like, notice that we're in the same industry or whatever, and then it will send a personalized request just by typing in, hi, Cheryl, L capital I capital, and it will fill in my invitation content. So that's just another trick. Not really LinkedIn, you can use it anywhere, but love it. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have their first name, which you'll have to add from the text replacement. If you know something about where they met or something about what you have in common, and then let's connect and close. Don't ask for anything else. Don't ask for anything more than a connection. It's very spammy to say, oh, and let me send you my latest white paper, and let me send you a link to my video. Don't do that. That's all you want to do is connect. You're building your network, and then you want to start building trust and relationships. This is another thing that most people don't realize. There is a place where you receive invitations, right? Everybody, you'll see it up in the top bar that says, oh, you have 3 invitation requests. And so what you want to do is click on the sent, and you want to clean these up, because LinkedIn frowns on unaccepted invitations to connect and unaccepted invitations to events. So you can see, or to pages. So there's 3 different kinds of invitations you can send. So what you want to do is just go and withdraw any that are more than a month old. You'll get a warning that says you won't be able to re-invite this person for 3 weeks, but if after 4 weeks they haven't, you're probably okay. All right. All right, finally, halfway through, we're at the new stuff. So for those of you who were here last time and made it this far, congratulations. So I'm going to talk a little bit about pillar and cluster content strategy. So what you want to do is, first of all, determine what is your goal for connecting. And I'll go over some of those goals on the next page. But once you know what it is you're trying to do, why you're connecting, then you want to have a positioning. So are you trying to establish credibility? Are you trying to engage with people? Are you trying to be entertaining? So for example, my accountant thinks that his job in life is to make people laugh. It's a total disconnect for me, but anyway, he is hilarious. Even his voicemail is hilarious. So his LinkedIn profile is also hilarious. So again, what is it you're trying to establish yourself up? What is your positioning? So now you know why you're trying to do it, and you know what your position or how. And you want to try to be, as much as you can, focus on what is unique about yourself. And then you want to select, they usually say 2 to 4 pillars, but start with one. And you want to write an article that is comprehensive, that is authoritative, that has maybe some references to statistics, anything that is really, really a spot on for what your market or your targets would be interested in. And this is called the pillar article. The idea here is you want to appear when, and this is your goal. Okay, not everybody achieves it. I haven't achieved it yet, but you want an article that Google thinks is so authoritative that it will take a snippet. So in here, Clariant Creative got the snippet for what is a pillar and cluster content strategy, right? And then there'll always be questions down below. What should my content pillars be? What is a content pillar page? What is content clustering? So what you do then is you want to answer the questions that will come under that with cluster articles. So pillar, extensive coverage. It's an umbrella. It covers everything about that topic. And then clusters will answer these questions. So what is it that I am trying to, that would fit under that umbrella? And then you cross-link everything, right? You always go back to the pillar, and then you cross-link all your clusters, and then life is wonderful, right? So that's a little bit about content strategy. And guess what? Your keywords are critical. Having those 10 keywords, the same ones you used on your profile, you're going to want to use here in your pillar and cluster content strategy. So here's some examples of goals. Educate. You want to just be helpful. You want to build relationships. You want to drive sales, create referrals, build a brand, be discovered. Give the waitress in LA. So. All right, so here's some really, really concrete things you can do right away. If you have clients that ask you questions that you can solve, even if they have nothing to do with your business, those are great content. Because if somebody has that question, there's probably 100 other people that have the same question. So customer-driven content is the best. And you can do it either in video or in writing. Video is really quick, and you can get it up there, and it can be very timely. So especially around tax season, if there's a new tax law you become aware of, or you find a new way to use, a quick video would be a great thing for Jeff, my accountant, to use. So again, as you're doing your content, don't sell. It's all about having a conversation and starting a relationship with the person. And then you also want to make sure you're engaging with other people that are in your industry, so that you're showing up when they are showing up in the news feed. So very important strategy is engage with other people and comment on their post. So you want to connect with the right people and then tag them in your post. You want to mention companies and people's names by using @ and then you put the company name, or @ Cheryl Cattell. And then there'll be a drop down where my name would appear, and you click on that. So you always want to mention people and companies, because that'll make sure it shows up in my news feed. So when you're targeting somebody, that's when you put them in your post and you mention them. Another thing you can do is try to catch people doing great things and celebrate them. So try to mix it up, articles, recognition, kudos, personal or company accomplishments, and always make sure, if you can, respond to comments quickly. Again, that counts towards your engagement. You want to have, so this is like, I just, Florida Man. I don't know if anybody watches Rachel Maddow, but Florida Man, she's always talking about Florida Man. So in this case, I was trying to find something that was a thumb-stopping headline, and definitely this got my attention. So you also want to make sure you've got a first sentence here that is going to, it's like you want it to be like a magnet pulling them in to the story. So this first sentence here is very important. You want to have that kind of set apart from the rest of the article. You want to try to use white space by adding bullets or, bolding on LinkedIn. If you're doing the article on the LinkedIn platform, I would avoid using bold, but if you're doing it on your blog post or on your website, then it's okay. They love statistics and numbers, and you can also put a poll up or ask a question like we did in the beginning. I had asked that question as part of the preparation for this meeting, and it was very interesting because over 60% of the people who responded to the poll posted every week. So completely different group that's seeing that. All right, this is top secret. No, this is how you hack the algorithm for LinkedIn. It's going to be counterintuitive, but just trust me, it works. So what you do when you do a post is, the left one is the lazy man's post. You just put the URL of the post that you want to link to, if it's off LinkedIn. So this was on a blog for Nordis Technologies, which is where I was before. And it will fill, it's like magic. The headline and the picture automatically populate, and then you can click it and go to the article. And that's what everybody does. It's just easy, right? Well, I was doing this on a regular basis, and I'd get around 100 views of my post in the feed. And somebody taught me this trick, which I'm going to share with you. You do not do the lazy man. You do not put the link to the article in your post. I know, doesn't that sound crazy? What? How are they going to get to it? I'll tell you. What you need to do is you upload a picture. So you will download this from your blog post. You will upload it into LinkedIn, and you will put some intro text, and you will tell them, well, of course, you have to put the @ profiles, right? You want to put your @ if I'm trying to get Apple's attention, I would put Apple computers or whatever. You put your hashtags, like whatever hashtag Latin American compliance or whatever. And then you want to get 5 comments in 60 minutes. Now, when you do this, your link, you have to say in your body copy here, to read the full article, click the link in the first comment. And that is where, as soon as you post it, go to the first comment, add your link. Now, the 5 comments in 60 minutes, everybody says, what? How do you do that? Right? It's like, how am I going to, I'm not in the office anymore. I can't go bug my coworkers. All right, I'm going to tell you the secret to that. But here's the proof is in the pudding. I went from 100 views of my post to, this one is, looks like, I'm trying to read it, 1,370. I've gone almost to 2,000 views for a single post. So this is definitely worth the time to get this kind of an increase in, you spend all the time to write the content, you definitely want to make sure more than 100 people read it. So, all right, so people have pods for different reasons. Most of the pods are put together so that people will agree to like and comment on each other's post. So this is how you can get 5 comments in 60 minutes. You ideally want about 20 people in your pod. The max is 50. And if you join a pod, you need to reciprocate by commenting on people's posts. You can't just put yours in there and say, have at it. It has to be reciprocated. And then to create a pod, there is a link. I think that we're going to put that in the chat. This will give you everything that you need. Susan, thanks. Everything you need to get started. But you could also just join my pod. again, hook up with me on LinkedIn and just tell me you want to join the pod. We might have to be connected first before I can add you. But you also need to have rules. There are rules in our pod that Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., that's when we all agree to support each other. So that's the deal with ours. Now, of course, things happen, things come up, but it's just a courtesy. So if we all agree to post on those 2 days, we don't have to be constantly going onto LinkedIn and checking the pod, checking. So the idea here is to make it easy for the members. They can just go down the list, and in about 10, 15 minutes, I can usually comment on all the postings for those days. So that's the secret. Pros of pods. It definitely amplifies your reach. It's a great way. I know what Susan and Serena are up to, and I love it. It's kind of like a little coffee or what do you call it, water cooler. I hear what they're up to, and I love it. And also, it's a great way if you have employees to engage them and ask them to help get the word out about what's happening with the company that they depend on for their livelihood. Cons. Superficial engagement will hurt your credibility. So if somebody just goes and likes the article, it doesn't help. If they say nice post or thanks for sharing, it really hurts credibility because people see that and they think, well, this is probably just a pod. It's, nobody cares. So to do it right, you want to take some time, give some thought to our article, and to say something that is insightful and meaningful. So LinkedIn does not endorse pods, but they don't unendorse them. There are many articles about pods that are on the LinkedIn article platform, so go figure. It is obvious that if you have organic and genuine engagement, that's always better. And until you do, the pods will help you get there. So that's my 2 cents on pods. All right, the highest return on investment is kind of in this sweet spot, the dark navy blue times. The best days are Wednesdays and Thursdays, and kind of in this sweet spot. And this is Eastern time, by the way. So I would say 8 to 10 a.m., noon, very early afternoon, right? So that's just kind of a rule of thumb. All right, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn events because they're changing them. But I will say that the last time we did this, I put this up on LinkedIn events. I think we had about 183 attendees. So it was definitely worth the time and effort, but it was a lot of effort. So here you can see, this was the January event. This was mostly about profile and tips for your profile. But the problem with this is you cannot force people to use the registration link. So I invited a few thousand of my best friends, and they accepted the invite. There were over 400 people who accepted it at the end. But when it came down to it, we had to manually add them into Webinar Jam. Thank you, Carrie. And so then they were able to receive a link to the Webinar Jam link. Also, there's no calendar reminder, and then you have to download the list. This is what I would do. Every couple days, I downloaded the list. I sent the new names to Carrie. She uploaded them and added them to the Webinar Jam. So there's also something called LinkedIn Live, but it does require you apply and get approved and use a third-party streaming service. So I just put it out there. It is difficult to get approved. I've heard that from several people. All right, so before we get into the bonus content, this is new stuff that I've learned since the May presentation I made on this. Some new stuff, always new stuff going on. I love it. But the first thing you want to do before you start making any updates to your profile, be sure you go to this little button here that says Me, scroll down to Settings and Privacy, then scroll down to visibility of your LinkedIn activity and change this from yes to no. It defaults to share your job changes. and work anniversaries. So what happens is if you're going to be making a lot of updates to your profile, you're going to spam all of your contacts. So don't do that. So make sure whatever you do before you start anything, start here, okay? All right, some quick hacks. These are just some things I've learned just recently. I love this. Coolsymbol.com. And there will be a document that has all of these links in it. So some cool things for you to try. Cool symbol here, you can change the font on LinkedIn. I mean, this is where those little emojis come from. So you just type in what you want and then add the emojis, copy the code, and then put it on LinkedIn. It's pretty cool, a lot of fun. All right, this is something that I just recently did. I went into, remember the little me and privacy and settings, visibility of your LinkedIn activity, go down a little bit further and you can choose to have follow instead of connect as your default. As soon as I did that, LinkedIn invited me to be a creator mode. And remember, I was showing you the hashtags, and I had a lot more real estate up at the top of my profile. That is due to something called creator mode. So I highly recommend you do this, and when you get the invitation, accept it. All right, it's another quick hack. I don't know if you see it, but I do all the time. You can remove people also viewed, and they will list your competitors, especially if you as a person are the individual that represents the company. All of your competitors will be showing up on the page where they're looking at your profile. We don't want that. All right. So again, we want to go to account preferences, and under the profile information, pretty close to the bottom, we want to say, no, we don't want to choose if this appears on my profile. I do not want my competitors appearing. So this is a quick hack to get that off of your page. All right, another mobile profile thing. So we talked about the name pronunciation and the video headshot. This is another thing that's only available on mobile. Go to your profile page. You do that by clicking the little circle of your headshot, and then click View Profile, go all the way down to the bottom, and then there'll be this thing called Reach Out to Cheryl for, and then you can pencil and change and pick and choose the things that you would like people to see on your profile to reach out to. So again, just another mobile only. All right, in closing, and I want to leave a little bit of time for some questions and answers. My recommendation, don't be overwhelmed. Don't think you have to go do all this yourself right now on your own and try to remember all this. Just pick one thing. Leave this meeting, pick one thing. Oh, I've got another 100 connections. I just noticed that. Pick one thing. Get a professional headshot. If you're here in South Florida, I have a guy. I got a guy. For $200, he'll come to your house and give you the kind of headshots that you'll see on my profile. Add a personalized profile banner. Another thing you can do with your profile banners is you can list events that you might be speaking at. Carrie, Sharon, that might be a good use of your profile banner, is to have these great webinars posted and just change them out every week. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's a really great piece of real estate. Or here's another thing. Give 5 recommendations and then ask for 10 recommendations for your profile. This is a great thing. So for those of you who are on the call, Dawn and Serena and Sharon, if I haven't given you a recommendation, reach out to me. You go to my profile page, and then there's the 3 dots or more, and you just ask for a recommendation. So another one thing you can do is set a goal and say, by X date, I want to have X number of connections. So my next goal is, as you can probably tell, is to reach 5,000. So I'm going to be putting together my strategy to do that. But they're not just 5,000 random people. I want to make sure that they're people that I think I could connect with and we could have mutual benefits. So you know what your starting point is for your social selling index. So let's get that score up. That's another one. You could join or start a pod. If you want to join, I have a couple of them. I would be happy to add you to the pod as long as you agree to the rules. And I also recommend start posting every week. It doesn't have to be a whole thesis. It can be a comment on an article you read, or just a quote. I do quotes every weekday. I do inspirational quotes. And another one thing you can do is to reach out and connect with me. I would love to be connected with you. And I'm going to think we're going to skip this because I want to have the last 5 minutes to talk, just answer questions, and also to let you know, I do one-on-one coaching sessions. You can purchase 2 of them. It always takes 2. And they're usually $250 for the pair. And for 10 days, you can use this link. So it's my Calendly link with LinkedIn RT for Resort Trades. And you can sign up and get $50 off. Another thing I've done is I do 4-hour intensive workshops for you and 9 of your closest friends or colleagues. And we do group coaching and do hands-on edits together. So, all right, that's enough for me. I would love, what's the best way, Sharon, to get questions?
Well, I will, we do have some questions already.
Oh,
Susan Hall wants you to explain how you tag someone in your post.
Great. Okay, that's easy. So when you're writing your post at the end, then just go down to a new line and use the @ sign, which is right above the 2. So shift 2 to get the @ like an email address. And then you put their name. So you start typing Cheryl Cattell, and then there should be a drop down where my name as well as other Cheryls will appear, and you just choose it, and it will automatically tag it and flag me that somebody's talking about me. And of course, I'm going to go check it out.
And another question, is there a daily limit to the number of individuals you can reach out to?
Yes, there's a weekly limit, and I believe it's 100. Good question. So yes, they do limit you to so many I'm pretty sure it's per week, 100. The $50 off if booked within 10 days. So I do limit it to 10 days, and I think I already got one customer out of it. Right, Cher?
Well, you're going to get us. That's for sure. I'm just like up to here flooded with this information. And
I know.
Thank you so much. I just don't know how you find the time to retain all this and manage it. But with your help, I'm sure that we'll get the guidance we need to bring our sales team and myself up to snuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like I said, everything I've talked about is free. And every one of us could do this on our own, but it'll take a lot more time, and time is money. Right. And so we can get through a whole profile, we can completely redo a profile within the 1-hour session. And it would take you a lot more, probably 10 times that much to try to figure it out yourself. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. It was my pleasure.
Oh, pleasure is todo es mío. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks again. Hi. I'm Sharon Scott Wilson, publisher of Resort Trades. We have been bringing you free videos in the hopes that we can help solidify the timeshare resort community and provide you, vacation ownership professional that you are, with some useful information. So when you hit the like button or share or comment, you're helping yourself too to be more integrated into the community, helping others get to know you. So be an influencer, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when we post a new video. And thank you. Good luck.